forget the episode we're on. It's been a long time. Nomad behind the camera. We'll insert his tag on there. Today, I'm gonna let him introduce himself, but I got one of the homies back on the podcast. Like I said yesterday on my Instagram post, we originally recorded one, didn't really come out the way I wanted it to, so we're gonna run it back. New questions, just kind of shoot the shit. So I'll let him introduce himself. But first and foremost, my name's Jose. If you guys don't know me, half owner of the Brig with my wife. I know we need to get her on here. I get it. That's the next episode for sure. But yeah, it's gonna be a good, fun, smooth episode. And enough said. I'll let the homie introduce himself and kind of go from there.
Yo, what's up? First off, thanks for having me on.
For sure.
Name is Blane. I'm the owner of Into the Past vintage clothing store here in Rome, and also a member here at the Brig.
That is true. Yeah, man, how are you doing, bro?
Good, same old.
Same old. Mm-hmm. So I know the first time we ran the episode, we got lost in the sauce. We just talked about everything. So we're gonna kind of run that back a little bit, just because I know who you are. You know, no man knows who you are and all that. But the people don't know who you are. So what do you do? What is Into the Past? And then we'll start going a little deeper into it. But yeah, so let's speak a little bit on what is Into the Past.
Yeah, so basically we deal in vintage clothing. Vintage being, a good rule of thumb in vintage, anything at least 20 years or older.
Okay.
So all the clothing that we deal in, our main niche is 80s, 90s pop culture. But we also have stuff from the 70s in there, early 2000s. But all original stuff. We don't deal in reprints. We don't support the reprint movement and all of that. It's just we're mainly clothing, and it's just we've been here. August will be 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys opened up kind of like, I can't remember. We opened up, you opened up, we opened up. We opened up pretty close.
Yep. Middle of COVID.
Yeah, middle of COVID, man. How was that for you guys? Because I know our idea was brought to life start of COVID because all the gyms shut down. How did you start with that? Like, fuck it, I'm just gonna open something up.
It wasn't. Yeah, it had nothing to do with COVID or anything like that. Just the timing, the way it worked. Because I actually started out renting a booth in an antique store.
Okay.
Like a little bitty 10 by 10, if that. I think it was smaller than that. Just reselling whatever.
Okay. Here in Rome?
Yeah, on the cotton block, the backside. Cotton block pickers.
I didn't know that. Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They've been there for a while.
Yeah, they have. I've always been into reselling stuff ever since I was young, using Craigslist and eBay and all that. But as I got older, I just like antiquing and thrifting in general. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, man, I need a way to make some money too. So I'm also selling online at this point. But then I was like, I want a physical spot, and like one day maybe have like an actual store. So yeah, I started out in an antique store and then worked my way up to an actual brick and mortar retail storefront on Broad Street.
During COVID,
yeah.
And how was that, man? Let's get a little bit into the business side behind it. So what were the challenges that you had to, during COVID, first brick and mortar, right? So before that, it was like a little hole in the wall, and then selling online. Mm-hmm. So how was that adjusting into now you have bills, now you have rent due, right? And did you have workers at that time, or was it just you slinging stuff?
It was just me, man.
Okay.
Yeah, and the goal always was to eventually have a full crew, employees and all of that. That way I can go out and do the fun stuff, which running the store is fun and being at the store is fun. But my favorite part, and I think most people would agree with me that are in my position too, is when you're going out in the wild, actually finding the hidden treasure.
Right.
But yeah, it was my first time ever being a business owner, so getting into the taxes and the licenses and the permits and all of that stuff. Yeah, it was all new to me, and I just had to learn it all by myself, because nobody else, no partners, no nothing like that. So
that's funny that you said that, because I think I told you last time, we had to do the same thing here. Google, YouTube, how to start an LLC, shit like that.
Yep.
So I know for us, like I dropped the ball and I forgot to renew our LLC. So I had to pay a fine for that.
Yeah.
So instead of like a $40 startup back fee or whatever, it was like $140, which was trash. Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. So before we get into where people can find you and all that, I know you spoke about a little bit on it this time, but how did you really get into that? Like what sparked that to like made you want to eventually get a brick and mortar, like dive more into that? Because I feel like you're the first one I've ever met that owns that type of business. So it's it's not like I want to open a restaurant or I want to open a gym or something that's a little different. So what got you into that?
So yeah, ever since I got out of high school, it's hard to like think back and remember, like, because your mindset changes over the years. Like I remember being in high school, being like 17, 18, like thinking to myself like, okay, this is how I think about certain things. This is how I do things right now. I wonder if I'm gonna think this same way in 5 years from now when I'm 22, 23. But it's like, and so like, years would go by and I'm like, damn, I'm a completely different person than I was just 2 years ago. I'm thinking different things. So yeah, I was always changing, but at the same time, I was always wanting to eventually just have my own business, run my own business.
Right.
Just for the freedom, the simple fact of the freedom. And so as, I worked so many jobs all through my 20s. And then I was always like conscious about the environment. I always have been. And just giving back and stuff like that. And it kind of worked out where I landed with the vintage clothing deal. Like I said, I was always into thrifting and antiquing and just treasure hunts, modern day treasure hunting.
Right.
And I took advantage of the fact that we don't have anything like that around us.
We don't.
You're
the first. Are you the first one?
Like in Rome?
Like in Rome? In Rome, yeah. That you know of?
For sure, yeah. That does specifically curated. Yeah, and downtown, in the city I grew up in.
That's crazy to me too, man, that you're downtown because I feel like you grew up here, right? So I feel like Rome is evolving and changing. And the fact that kind of store is downtown is sick. Like, that's a cool thing.
Yeah, and the fact that we're making it, dude. The fact that people are coming in there supporting us, shopping, is
Shop
great.
local, baby.
Yeah, dude. Like that's the way to do it. Is the small businesses is what keeps us afloat,
Yeah.
and keeps things going.
We're gonna dive into some more, business questions and all that, man. But so top of your head, I want to know if you could give me like 3, like, this is why I do it. See, like if you were to ask us like, why do you own a gym? I can give you top, 3, 5 reasons why I do it. But I'm gonna ask you the same thing, like, why, other than saving Mother Earth, give me 3 other reasons of like, why do you do it? Why do you go out there fucking looking for shit? Just like, what is your why with your business?
So yeah, the main one being, saving, we may not be doing much, but we're making a little dent in the environment. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean 3 reasons would be, first, the freedom.
Okay.
I'll never have to miss one of my son's ball games, or any event that he's involved in. I can always just be there.
Right.
I can close the store if I need to anytime. Somebody hits me, I was like, yo, let's go to Vegas or California, New York, let's go take a trip somewhere. All right, let's go. I got that freedom now.
Okay.
Another reason would be just the thrill when you're out in the wild looking and you find that peace, that adrenaline that you get. I don't know. It's just if you haven't experienced it, it's a hard feeling to describe. But it's just straight adrenaline, man. You find that diamond in the rough, that $300-$400 shirt in the bottom of a trash bag you pay $1 for. It's really cool.
So you found those before?
I mean, that's an exaggeration, but I've been in situations like that for sure.
Can you remember the most expensive shirt you found for a couple bucks off the top of your head?
So I've got one in the store right now that I actually bought off of somebody's back. Like, dude was wearing it.
You took it
at
off
a flea market. I don't want to say how much I paid for it, but yeah, I was at a flea market doing my normal thing, and I looked down the way, and he wasn't even there to sell. He was there shopping himself by himself, and I look up and I see that shirt. I know exactly what it is. So I take off, I'm speed walking, like trying not to make a scene. And I just go up to him and straight up ask him if it's the other shirt.
What did he say? I mean, obviously you bought it, but how was that?
He just he looked at me like
He's a tattoo guy.
Yeah, he was just like, how much are we talking? And then I told him, and he said, okay, let's walk over here to my truck so I can find me something else to put on.
Oh shit!
Took it off, and yeah, it's like a historic, and that's another thing, how we price our items. A lot of people may not realize, we're not just coming up with numbers or just putting our own price on it.
Break it down. Yeah. So how do you do that?
So, for instance, that shirt, it's historically sold for. So we look up sold prices. That's the first thing we'll do. We try to find, like, if you were to bring in some clothes to us to sell to us, we're gonna look up. We're gonna find if any have sold at those prices. Like, not what people are asking. That's completely different. Anybody, I can take this plain Nike shirt off my back and put it online and ask $100 for it. Doesn't mean that's what it's worth.
But if they're consistently selling for 30, then that's where you kind of put your market at, kind of around there.
Yeah. So that shirt was selling easily for around, $750, $800.
No way.
Know what I mean? Yeah. And,
shit.
And now, I will say that the vintage market has died down a lot, just like all the other markets. Cause
here recently.
Well, yeah, because COVID, everybody getting those checks and the money. People are spending money like crazy. There were shirts that were bringing crazy money that are not bringing that now, just because it's starting to get back to where it probably should be, I think. But yeah, we heavily research every item that we have, and we try to price them fairly,
Right. So when someone walks into your store, looks at the tags, which I love how you do your tags. If you guys don't know, like old baseball,
just old
cars, there's a whole thought process behind that price.
Yeah.
Which should be, which seems like everyone should be doing that, but it's not really how that goes, man. So that's pretty cool, man. It's little small details that I feel like you pride yourself with your type of business. As a brick and mortar vintage shop owner, like, how does that Monday look like for you?
Yep. So, this just as well as I do. Being a business owner, even when you're not at the store, at the gym, you're still working.
You're always working.
Always. It's 24/7. So, Sundays and Mondays being our off days or closed days, still not off for me, So, on a Monday since we open the next day on a Tuesday and Monday, I pick every day.
Okay.
When I wake up, even if we're open, we don't open until 12 o'clock, I'm picking before that, on my way to work, I'm stopping wherever I can. It's just, it's a business, but I also do it just because I want to do it. I like doing it. And then on Monday, if I were to, wake up, it's first thing I do, may come to the brig,
get a good workout in. 432 Shorter Avenue.
And then I do a little picking, and then we normally do a lot of inventory on Monday to get ready for the opening week on Tuesday.
Okay, so Tuesday would be the shit that you found on Monday.
Correct. A lot of our new stuff from like the weekend, Sunday, Monday, is going to come in on Tuesday, which is good, Yeah. That's when we get a lot of our customers that come in. They want to see the new stuff and get it before everybody else does.
Do you guys? I can't remember if I asked this last time. Do you guys wash everything you find? How does that work? I never.
Yeah, good question. I don't remember if we talked about that.
Yeah. Because every time before you answer that, because when I buy either. Not so much from your store, and I swear I'm not being biased because you're in front of me, but because they smell clean, so I wear them.
Yeah.
But when I buy random other places, like same setup, right? I wash them. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
So how does that work?
So we just use best judgment, common sense, basically. Like for example, again, if you were to come into our store and sell us something, or if we're out in the wild and we find something, no matter if it's at a thrift store or at a flea market or an estate sale, wherever we get our items from, obviously we're not gonna wash something that is brand new, never been worn.
Yeah.
You know, brand new, never been worn, still vintage. So I'm not talking about modern stuff, obviously. But yeah, when we find something from
like the tag is still on that.
Tag's still on it. Not gonna wash it. No. Doesn't really matter. I mean, if there's stains, we may try and get the stains out, but we're not gonna wash it. If we and then most thrift stores, I mean, you don't. It's all wash stuff too. You don't have to really wash stuff like that.
That's a good question. People may not know.
That's a great question. But yeah, if somebody, this has happened plenty of times. People bring us stuff all the time, and we never know what it's going to be, which is great. It's a great part of the job. But yeah, we've had stuff that smells like straight, like the worst cigarettes. You know, just like the worst smell.
I picture like a. Don't give me shit for this, but I picture like a Harley Davidson shirt. Just smelling like straight cigarettes.
That'd be a body
You
odor.
open the bag, and it's like not the cheap bag, so you're having to fight for it. And it smells straight like cigarettes. But hey, bro, that shirt was out for $300.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, that's the thing. If it's, and we're not gonna.
You go off judgment, then. So, or not judgment, but you know, like, if it smells or
we're gonna wash it. If it's got stains, we're gonna wash it. Try and get the stains out. Just common sense, really.
Yeah. But my thing was like I was scared to wash it because I didn't want to mess it up. Because there's ways of
for sure
washing them, right?
Yeah. I mean, just don't ever cold water, dry and low, nothing crazy.
And you were telling me last time how I didn't even realize that you could stretch your shirt.
Yeah.
Because my thing when I reach out to him, I'm like, yo, find me a 2X. But I didn't realize it, but these 90s shirts and like 2000 shirts, like I could fit into an extra large because they were kind of big anyways.
Yeah.
Or the 2X might be big as shit. So yeah, and then you were telling me about how to stretch your shirt, right?
Yep.
How do you do that?
Shrink.
Yeah,
shrink. Obviously, you can just wash it on hot water, dry on high. That will shrink right up. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, stretching. Depends. Some shirts can be stretched, some can't. You just gotta try it, and that depends on all the wear that it's had throughout its life.
Right.
But yeah, you soak it, soak your shirt in some hot water, throw a little squirts of conditioner in there, mix it up real good, let it soak. Not too long. You can soak it for a few hours overnight. Doesn't really matter.
Right.
And then wring it out, and then you can either pull on it, you can just shake it, kind of like what I do, and it's like snap it, like a towel, and it'll just kind of stretch it like that. If you need you need to stretch it wide, you can just put your arms in it, stretch it out like that. If you want it longer, like me, I got a long torso, so I gotta it's hard to find shirts that aren't boxy and not short,
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like, I have a little stomach on me, but like, my torso, so like, yeah, it's built weird, man.
Yeah.
So like, I get that. Like I was saying, you could have stopped at brick and mortar. You could have stopped at, I made it, got a business. I'm downtown Rome, my hometown. But that's one thing I like about you is that you're pushing the envelope in your field. You're doing shit that I'm not in that field, so I don't know what like other vintage owners are doing. But what I see around here, you are the only one in my opinion. I don't know of another store around here between, Calhoun, Cedartown, Case Springs, like you're holding it down in that field. And that's what I think that's awesome.
Yeah, for anybody that does what we do, like strictly curated vintage, no retro stuff, no streetwear, no hypebeast stuff.
You're not selling Jordans on the wall. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not what you're doing. It's
right.
You are vintage, so that's what you guys are. If anyone who's listening to this, if you haven't checked out his store, you should. It's awesome. I'm not just saying this because he's a member or because he's on the podcast, but it's pretty cool in there. Definitely into the past. I mean, it's very. It looks like my childhood. What I wish my room would look like at that time. All you're really missing is like the LA Gear shoes that I keep telling you about. If you find those, please let me know.
For sure.
But yeah, just sick. Pool table in there.
Got the pool table.
Some video games in there, right?
And it's always changing. I guess coming back to keep doing things different. It's like I do it because people get bored. They don't want to come in and see, the employees give me shit all the time. They're like, oh, you rearranged again. You rearranged. Mm-hmm. So every time you come in, it looks different. Mm-hmm. But that part of that is because I'm OCD. Mm-hmm. But another part of that is to keep it to keep it interesting.
Right.
You don't want to keep going in the same store over and over and over, and it's just the same shit.
It's like you walk into a Walmart, and no matter where the fuck you're at, the Walmart looks the same for the most part, right? You know,
Right.
for the most part. I get that, man. And I feel like you take pride in the little details, the little posters on the walls. Like, where do you find those, by the way? I know it's random, but do you just...
The posters that are in the store?
Yeah, like those movie posters and all that shit.
So those belong to my uncle's brother.
Okay.
Which I guess technically would be my uncle, but it's my uncle through marriage.
Okay.
And so it was his brother's. He was a big movie collector back in the day.
Yeah, some good ones in there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they're sick.
He ended up passing away when I was young.
Oh, shit.
And so my uncle, he took them from him or inherited them from him,
Mm-hmm.
and he ended up just giving them to me.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
They were just sitting, you know. He wasn't going to do anything with them.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, none of those posters are for sale just because, you know, I wouldn't feel right.
They're old, right? Like,
all original from mainly like 94.
and how are they kept so well? That's crazy.
I mean, he did a good, they were all rolled up and wrinkly and kind of folded. So like, it's not like they're pristine or anything.
For no one that's ever been in your store, they're not gonna know what the fuck we're talking about. But I'm telling you, go in there, it's cool, man. Like, they're all clean. The color looks good on them. They're sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
When was the decision made? Like, when, like, did you guys have a goal of opening a gym before y'all even met? Or, like, did that happen after y'all met?
Yeah, no. So, I could be here all day on that question. But yeah, so we knew each other in high school. I told you the first time she was stuck up. She's not gonna like that part. Was I fat at that time? I couldn't remember. I think I wrestled, so I think I looked pretty good. Shout out to all my old high school girlfriends. But yeah, so she was like stuck up, man. She says she wasn't, but she was.
I believe you.
And fast forward like 10 years later, we re-met at another local gym. I was like, oh shit, that girl looks familiar. I was like, damn, she's fine. Weird, because she was actually in nursing school with my sister. So of course I'm hanging out with my sister now at that point.
Yeah.
One thing led to another. We started kicking it. Long story short, we ended up dating, and then 6 years now we're married. So we met, we rekindled that at the gym. But our relationship was always evolved around the gym. Like, we rekindled back at the gym. We would hang out at the gym. We would go dates at the gym. Even now, when I'm going to Hawaii this Sunday. Even when we're on vacation, we go to the gym, and it's not because we're like, oh man, we're gonna lose everything. It's because we enjoy it. We truly enjoy. You know how people are like, oh man, you go on vacation just to sit by the beach, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like, let's work out early and then go sit at the beach.
That's cool.
That's what we do. So yeah, that's kind of how it rekindled everything. And then it's like, well, you're gonna work out for the rest of your life, God willing, and I'm gonna work out for the rest of my life, God willing.
Why not open a gym?
Just because, you know, that around here people weren't doing what we wanted to do, with equipment, with culture and a vibe, right? So we were like, that's what we're gonna bring to the table. And yeah, we opened up the Brig, going on 2 years now. Holy shit.
Yep. Flies by.
3 more years to say we made it, man. I don't know. We'll see. They say it's like 5 years before you're established. That's what Google says. I don't know. Nah. Growing in a business is scary. So like, it's like not knowing, like, are we ready to take that next step, right? Like for us anyways, like, when is it the right time to go into a bigger building, a bigger location, buy more equipment, right? But one thing that you hit on, you said if you did open another location, you would put it somewhere where it's like a little bit more appreciated. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I kind of feel like that sometimes. I love our location. I love that we're in Rome just because I grew up here.
Yes,
but sometimes I'm like, man, I wonder if we would have opened up in Atlanta. Like, would we have been thriving more? Like, just because, like, for instance, you know, living in the bigger cities, things are more expensive, right? So our memberships, I think they're fair. But like, not knocking other gyms, but I see their memberships like in those bigger cities, you know, $65 to $85 a month. I'm like, fuck that. Like, why are you charging that much? And there's really not much there, respectfully.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's the same for us.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I wonder, if we opened up another,
Cause there's like, once you get to the bigger cities, that's where you can find more stores like mine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really find stores like mine in the smaller cities like Rome,
Right.
But yeah, it's the same though. You go down there to their store, and people, we get people come in our store all the time that just don't understand vintage or just the fashion industry in general.
Right.
And so they see the price, they see, $100 for a T-shirt.
That's crazy.
There's other vintage stores in Atlanta, especially in LA and New York, that has that same shirt. It's 3 times the price, and
Right.
people are paying that. So we're all about educating the uneducated, the misinformed. Like I said, we don't just throw prices up or come up with prices out of thin air. It's for what these other stores are charging in the big cities. Our prices are pretty.
I think they're pretty fair.
I mean, yeah.
For what they are, I've been in there. I've looked around. Not being biased, but they're pretty fair for what they are.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Let's see what someone else said. This is a good one. So someone asked, how did you come up with your creative side to the name Into the Past? How was that brought up? Was there a team behind it? Did you just one day were like Into the Past?
No, yeah, like I was like, well, damn, we need a name, and I didn't have one, and I was just thinking, I was like, okay, Back to the Future, that was a cool movie and kind of fits the vibe, but like I can't call my store that, and then I was like, what's something like that, or something around that same type deal, and then I was like, okay, maybe Into the Past. Maybe a good, and so then I wanted to make sure though. I was like, I gotta make sure that there's no other store,
For sure,
page, anything that has this same name, because I don't want to be confused with anybody else. Just for the ease of search, when people are searching the name, don't want to get confused with nobody else.
Right.
So I was like, man, let's see. I typed it Into the Past, and there was nothing out there.
That's crazy.
It was related, and I was like, okay, I'm grabbing this. Right
Yeah.
now.
You think that's a good name? It's a very good name, man.
It's working out.
People type in the brig and like the Navy pops up, like theactualnavy.com. It's like shit, bro. But yeah, man, that's sick. Man, I got a lot of random ones. Do you have any you want to ask me while I'm looking through these?
Well, I guess it would be I guess it's the same question you asked me, but I think not just me, but other people would want to know what would be, because we have 2 completely different types of businesses.
Yeah.
So what would be a day in the life for you running a gym?
Oh man, day in the life. That changes honestly.
Because you also have a partner, you got.
Yeah. So I think we work pretty well, man. She's like, I want to touch on this, which we're gonna get her on here, but she's very hardworking.
Yeah.
I'm more of the front face. A lot of people see me and they get it confused, like it's just my gym, or they don't know about her, which is funny. Like she'll be in here working out, and like a new member would be like, they don't know that she's also the owner. So
like, who's that?
Yeah, like who's that girl? It's funny, man. But yeah, no. So I'm usually here, but like a typical day, man. I like to train in the morning, so like coming in here. Well, honestly, I'll be honest with you. First thing I do is I come in here. I check the books. I check the system, make sure everything's good. Yeah, and then I little spot clean here and there, and then I just get my workout in, and then I'll break up if I have to clean that day, if I have to fix a piece of equipment. Who put a hole in the wall this time?
I was gonna ask too. We could. I don't know. Sorry to interrupt. But
no, you're good.
I know you had mentioned because pet peeves, and I know you had mentioned
that's a good one. Yeah, dude,
having to clean up after somebody, stuff like that. So
I'll go into that one. That's a good one. No, man. So I have to make this very clear. So I am very aware, because my wife gets on to me sometimes. I'm very aware that we own a gym. It's never going to be spotless. I'm OCD, so that fucks with me sometimes.
Yeah.
It's never going to be spotless, and that's okay. I'm cool with that because it's a gym. But what gets me is, I'm 30 years old. I'm an adult. What gets me, and I'll answer that, but Yeah, let me answer that first. So my pet peeves here recently, man. So we provide chalk, and we're a little powerhouse,
Yeah.
So we provide chalk. Chalk is allowed. Most gyms, I don't know if you know this, but most gyms around here don't let you use chalk, just because it makes a mess. But we have a designated like where you could use chalk area here, like the deadlift platform. If you're gonna bench, but it's just when people like overuse it for no reason.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Not necessary at all. It's like, I'm gonna go pick up my water bottle, so let me fucking chalk up. And like, and I get why they do that. And for us, it's not because like the cost of chalk is cheap, right? Well, it's not that, man. It's not even the mess. It's the, it's like they're not used to having it, so they're like kids in a candy store.
Taking
Not all of them. It's the ones that are not used to it, so they take advantage of it. They make a complete mess, and then they just don't clean it. So for me, it's just like, it's a simple rule. It's just like, use it, clean it, go on with your day. But yeah, that's really one of them, man. That's really it, man. Honestly, that, and then when people take their shirts off, which we allow, if you're taking a picture, if you're taking a video, or if you're doing a set, you can take your shirt off, but when you're done, put it back on.
Yeah.
But it's when you don't wipe your bench down after taking your shirt off. That's just like,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. But other than that, man, it's all good. Like, it's all chill, man. Honestly, I could honestly say we have some sick members here. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
The culture around here is pretty sick. I enjoy what we do, and it's only gonna get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really it, man. Like I said, man, we have some of the best members here. I'm glad we finally got you back on the podcast. We're gonna have to get you on after hours just because a couple of drinks will be involved. But before we finish it off, man, give us your name again. Give us your tags. Where can people find you? Give us the address of the brick and mortar. Let the people know, man.
So yeah, Instagram is for sure where we do all of our posting and advertising and stuff like that. That's where we're most active, I guess. So Into the Past VTG, same YouTube handle. If you want to go check out our YouTube series, like I said, season 2 will be coming out soon. Website should be available soon. That'll be intothepastvintage.com. So you can shop everything we have in store online, and then our next event that's coming up, August 12th, our Summer Bash, second annual Summer Bash, because we had one last year in the summer.
Right.
This will be our second one. August 12th, pop up from 12 to 8, and then we're also going to have an after party at Mellow Mushroom right down the block.
Right down the block.
At 8 o'clock.
Hell yeah, that's going to be sick.
And, dude, yeah, we got Shamar. So yeah, shout out Shamar, Bimbo, and Omni. All 3 of them will be performing. And it's going to be a really good time.
Really good time.
For sure.
And to go back on what we said, doing shit different, man.
Yeah.
Doing shit different. And that's it, man. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We wanted to do it kind of different this go around. I really love learning in business, and the more you know, the more you grow. So yeah, man, I'm excited to kind of run it back. We'll get you on there after hours, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, Nomad behind the camera, Blane from Into the Past, and of course the Brig, 432 Shorter Avenue. That's it, you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, bro.